John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
Hey there, this is John Ulzheimer. I am a consumer credit expert. Got almost 30 years of experience in the credit industry. I have spent time at Equifax, which is one of the 3 generally recognized credit reporting agencies in the United States, and FICO, which is the company that designs and develops the FICO credit scoring system. So today, I'm going to answer a question regarding the potential impact to a primary credit card holder if they were to add an authorized user or authorized users to their credit card account. So briefly, an authorized user is someone who is added to an existing or pre-existing credit card as someone who is authorized to use the credit line. So in many scenarios, they'll receive a card with their name embossed on it, and they'll be able to use the card to buy goods and services. Just like if they were the primary card holder, they have access to the credit line, but they have no liability for the debt. So that's really the primary difference, is they have no liability for the debt. And of course, authorized users in many scenarios benefit from the proper management of the card, because in most cases it is reported to one or more of your credit reports. The question, this is actually more from the individual card holder's perspective than it is from the authorized user's perspective, which is there a possibility that the primary card holder's credit could be negatively impacted if they were to add someone as an authorized user? And the answer is maybe. And it's maybe for a couple reasons. Number one, if the authorized user has a card, has the physical card, or knows the credentials of the card, the account number, the expiration date, things like that, then they can buy stuff and charge it to the card. What that means is that the balance that shows up on your statement every single month is going to include charges from the authorized user. And if the authorized user abuses the card and charges too much, then obviously the balance of the card is going to be considerably higher. That can harm your credit score, because one of the metrics in all commonly used credit scoring systems, those built by FICO, those built by VantageScore, they consider a metric called the Revolving utilization ratio, which is the relationship between the balances on your credit cards and the credit limits on your credit cards. And the higher the ratio, meaning the larger percentage of the credit limit that you're using in the form of a balance, the lower your credit score is going to be, because you do not earn as many points for that particular metric, especially if you have a very high balance. So certainly if an authorized user is out there just boom, 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 just running up a balance on the card, remember, they can max out your card just like the primary card holder can max out their card. And if the authorized user does it, then of course the balance is going to show up on the primary card holder's credit reports. That can have a negative impact on the score. So that's number one. Number two, and this is another one it's kind of a disjointed, but it certainly can happen. If hypothetically the authorized user runs up too large of a balance and the primary card holder doesn't have the ability to make a payment to cover the minimum payment due because of the large balance, then a late payment can end up showing up on the primary card holder's credit report and on the authorized user's credit report. So everybody loses in that scenario, because the primary card holder has a late payment that's brand new, the authorized user has a late payment that's brand new, and of course this is now working against you, especially if you're using an authorized user to build a credit report, rebuild a credit report, try to help your credit score. Obviously, hammering your credit report with late payments and large balances, that's working against you, certainly not working for you. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is not letting it happen in the first place. And so you, as the primary card holder, you do not have to give a card to the authorized user in order for them to benefit from being an authorized user. The only reason you would give them an actual card so they could activate it would be to give them the ability to go out and buy things with it, which is obviously a very common reason why you would add someone as an authorized user. But you're also exposing yourself to any sort of abuse of the card where you could end up with a really large balance to deal with. It's also more expensive. So even though it's not necessarily directly an impact to your credit report or credit score, the larger the balance, if you're you're going to have to pay it because you're liable for it, and B, if you can't pay it in full every month, then you're going to pay interest on it, and that the APR on a credit card tends to be in the 16+% range, which is pretty expensive. So yeah, there's a variety of ways that it can blow back, because if you don't take proper measures, and one of those measures is simply not to give a card to the authorized user. So it solves the problem. So if you have any other questions about this, please drop them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to get to them. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk again soon.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.